إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبعث منهما رجالا. Today being 20th of Ramadan 1445, which coincides with the 30th of March 2024. Inshallah, I want to be continuing with our Tafseer of Suratul Sajdah. Last week we stopped at the verse, as they are also calling Allah Azza wa Jal, they are also in fear and hoping from Allah Azza wa Jal. And we ended with that last week, وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. And from what, Allah said, from what we have provided for them, they are spending it out, they are giving it out. That is where we stopped last class. Inshallah, today we are going to be starting with the next verse. Allah said, فَلَا تَعْلَمُوا
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فلا تعلم نفس ما أخفي لهم من قرة أعين جزاء بما كانوا يعملون.
Allah Azza wa Jalla said what? فَلَا تَعْلَمُ نَفْسٌ مَا أُخْفِيَ لَهُم مِّن قُرَّةِ أَعْيُنٍ جَزَاءً بِمَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. Say فَلَا تَعْلَمُ نَفْسٌ. He said the soul is not know, is not aware مَا أُخْفِيَ لَهُم مِّن قُرَّةِ أَعْيُنٍ. What is hidden from him from the comfort of the eyes. What will tranquil the eyes, the soul will not know that. And how can you get this comfort? Said Jaza'an bima kanu ya'malun. This will be a reward because of what? Because of their deeds, because of their good deeds. That is why Allah will give them this tranquility, this comfort of eyes. Qawluhu ta'ala فَلَا تَعْلَمُ نَفْسٌ أي نَفْسٌ تَكُونُ لَا مَلَكٌ مُقَرَّبٌ وَلَا نَبِيٌّ مُرْسَلٌ. Said no any soul, no any soul is aware. What it means is that there is no any human being that is aware of all the enjoyment in Jannah. Likewise, not the angel that is so close to Allah. They cannot tell you, oh, once you enter Jannah, this is what you're going to be enjoying. وَلَا نَبِيٌّ مُرْسَلٌ. Nor the prophet that was sent. Anything you've heard that, oh, Jannah is like this, just a description according to what we can comprehend as human beings. But as for the reality, no one has the knowledge of that. So وَقَالُوا فَلَا تَعْلَمُ نَفْسٌ مَا أُخْفِيَ لَهُم مِّن قُرَّةِ أَعْيُنٍ وَهَذَا نَفْيٌ لِعِلْمِ حَقِيقِيٍّ لَا عِلْمِ الْمَعَانِي. So this is to negate, this is to prohibit the real knowledge, not just mean knowing the meaning. You can say, Allah has said in the English Quran about there is different types of rivers in Jannah. This is, so definitely we know that there is rivers in Jannah. Rivers of honey, rivers of milk, rivers of water, a lot of things, wine in Jannah. These are just main names that you know. But the real form of it, nobody have the knowledge of that. لكن حقيقة ذلك شيء مجهول. He said the real meaning of this is ignorant. People are ignorant of it. They don't have the knowledge of all the enjoyment, all the endowment in Jannah. ولهذا قال ابن عباس رضي الله عنه. That's why Ibn Abbas said what? لَيْسَ فِي الدُّنْيَا مِمَّا فِي الْجَنَّةِ إِلَّا أَسْمَاءً. He said there is nothing is in this world. As Allah said, oh, you are going to be taking penal agreement for it, for example, or the date anything that you think of that Allah mentioned in this word that He said is in Jannah. Said what laysa fi dunya mimma fil jannati illa asma. So you cannot compare what is in this world with what is in the hereafter on the Jannah, except just by name. Allah said in Suratul Muhammad, where He was talking about fiha anharun min labanin,
fiha anharun min ma'in ghayri asin wa anharun min labanin lam yataghayyar ta'muhu wa anharun من خمر لذة للشاربين وأنهار من عسل مصفى. Allah said in this Jannah there is pure water, a clean water. It's not like the pure water we have in this world. Even some water we have in this world, they call it pure water, but they are still infected. But as for the one in Jannah, it's just name. The similitude of that and one in this world is just name, mere name. But as for the reality, the real one, you cannot comprehend it. No human being, not even an angel close to Allah that can comprehend that. Even in Jannah, we also have what? We also have homo. We have wines, different type of wine. Not like the wine we have in this world that intoxicates. But the wine in Jannah, once you take it, you have comfort, you'll be tranquil. Likewise, the honey and the milk, all of these, they are just names so that we can fantasize, so that we can picture the enjoyment in Jannah. So let's control these children. So that we can picture how Jannah will look like. But the real form of it, nobody can have the knowledge. That's why I said, saying there is nobody that have the knowledge of what is being hidden from them, what is in Jannah. He said, فَنَعْلَمُ أَنَّ فِي الْجَنَّةِ نَخْلٌ وَرُمَانٌ. He said, we know that in Jannah, the date, there's date in Jannah, there's pomegranate, the best fruit in the world today, very costly. Even some like will not be able to eat it in this world. So we have fruits that Allah mentioned that is going to be in Jannah. And all of these, they are just names. Said min qurrati ayun, the word min qurrati ayun, from the comfort of the eyes. What will comfort the eyes? What will make the eyes to tranquil? What will make a human being to be tranquil, to be comfortable? Say man takuru bihi ayunun qarrat aynuhu bimana jamudat wa qarrat aynuhu. So when say qarrat, what it means is jamudat, for the eyes to be hardened, to be what firm on something. What means sekina. Sekina. So you are tranquil. So what we call what qurratun. So the word can also mean to freezing, something to freeze. Al-qurratu ayyawalib barad means something to be cold. Say inna dam'atu surur baridun. That is why the scholar said that what the tears of joy is so cold, is so what calm. Wa dam'atu huznu harun. As for the tear of agony is hot. All of this is equally what qurratu aynun. Say yani anna luyunahum qaratun. What he mean is that their face will be fixed. They are not turning their face to any other thing other than this, other than the enjoyment in Jannah. Or they will be calm once they get there. There will be comfort once they get there. That is what in Jannah. فَإِذَا قُلْتَ هَذَا يَدُلُّ عَلَىٰ أَنَّهُمْ يُجَازُونَ بِالْعَمَلِ And Allah end the verse with what? Jaza'an
bima kanu
ya'malun. Allah said Jaza'an, this is a reward because of their deeds. Because of the righteous deed they did in this world, that is why Allah is rewarding them. So فَإِذَا قُلْتَ هَذَا يَدُولَ عَلَىٰ أَنَّهُ يُجَازُونَ بِالْعَمَلِ. Said if we have been asked that from this verse is shown, is proved that every human being will be rewarded according to their deeds. وَثَبَتَ عَنِ النَّبِيِّ صلى الله عليه وسلم. There's another hadith from the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم that what? لَن يَدْخُلَ الْجَنَّةَ أَحَدٌ بِعَمَلِهِ. Said the Prophet said, no one will enter Jannah with his deeds. This is the hadith of the Prophet that said that your deed cannot admit you to the Jannah. How can we reconcile these two? From the verse, it's shown that what we are going to be rewarded because of your deeds. But the verse, hadith now said that what there is nobody that will enter Jannah by his deeds. And the companion was shocked and asked Prophet, Wala anta ya Rasulullah. Even the old Prophet of Allah said, Wala ana illa an yughammadani billahu bi rahmati. He said, even me, I will not enter Jannah with my deeds, except that Allah will wrap me, Allah will engulf me, Allah will cover me with His mercy. So how can we reconcile this verse and this hadith? Say, Inna jam'a baynahuma ikhtilafa bil ma'na al-ba'un. Said the difference is that if you want to try to reconcile this, you cannot measure your deeds. Mahama your deed is. If you have to even know the word, as you came to this world, you are only obeying Allah. One mercy of Allah will not be what will be too much for Him to reward you. So Allah is just giving you, even with all your deeds. All your deeds cannot take you to Jannah. Because you cannot, they are not equal. That exchange is too much. But Allah will just say, since you have you did this side, because of that you enter Jannah. Not because that's your word, that's your deed is enough to admit you to Jannah. May Allah count us among those that will enter Jannah. Now let's quickly look at this, the benefit you can learn from this lesson, from this verse, the lessons. The first lesson, في هذه آية دليل على عظم نعم الجنة. There is the lesson you can learn is that the first lesson is that there is enormous favor in Jannah. You have a lot of rewards, a lot of enjoyment in Jannah. Because Allah has said that what فَلَا تَعْلَمُ نَفْسُ مَا أُخْفِيَ لَهُمْ. No soul is aware, no soul will have the knowledge of what is hidden from him in Jannah. Said لِأَنَّ لَا شَكَ أَنَّ الْإِبْهَامَ يَدُلُّ عَلَى تَفْخِيمٍ. Said you not being hiding something show how magnificent, how mighty is that thing. So that is the first fact that we can learn from this, is that there is a lot of enjoyment in what? In Jannah. Number two, say anna fil jannati min qurrati ayn fima aqul. He said we also learn from this that there are a lot of enjoyment that will make you to be comfortable in Jannah. And from that is the food we eat, the clothes we put on, even the marriage that will happen in Jannah. All of these, they are enjoyment. Hatta even mansions. Sema la yakhtur ala bal. Something that you cannot even think of. We have them in Jannah. Think of enjoyment. Any enjoyment you think of in Jannah, we have them. So Faida Salisa, the third virtue we can learn from this, Fadlullah ala al-ibad, the virtue, the nobility of Allah over His servants. That Allah is so virtuous, Allah is so generous to His believing servants, to the believers on the day of judgment. Fadlu sabiq wa lahiq. The one that is doing for us in this world and the one that will happen in the hereafter. Sasuma yaqulu yujazikum ala amalikum wa hadha la shakku annahu min tamami ni'matillah. That is why Allah in the verse said was He is going to reward everybody according to their deeds. There is no doubt that this is from the perfect favor of Allah. Because the favor of Allah is enormous. So we take the next verse. Say, فَلَا تَعْلَمُ أَفَمَنْ تَكُنْ أَفَمَنْ كَانَ
أفمن كان مؤمنا كمن كان فاسقا لا يستوون.
Allah said, "What afaman kana mu'minan? Afaman kana mu'minan, kaman kana fasiqan? Is it that the believer is like the disobedient ones?" Allah is asking question. Is it that what the believer is like those that are committing sin, those that are committing any form of atrocity? Are they the same? Say, La yastawun. They are never the same. As someone is a believer, you cannot compare a believer with what? With a disbeliever. A fasik, a mujrim, you can't compare these two. They are two different things. Said al-murad bil fisk huna al-fisk al-akbar. When I say fisk, the fisk here, fasikin here means this, not just committing sin. It means what? Fisk al-akbar. It means sin that can easily take someone from the deen. So once a fasik, it has two meanings. It can be what? Just mainly committing sin. That is fisk. But it can also mean you committing what? A kabair, a major sin that will take you away from what? From the religion of Islam. And after Allah asked this question, Allah answered the question by himself, said what? La yastawun. Said they are never the same. Someone that is a believer is never the same as someone that is what? Is a disbeliever. They are two opposites. Said that is why Ibn Usaymin, when he was talking about this verse, he said it's compulsory that if you are reciting the verse, always stop at the word of Allah, fasiqa. Afaman kana mu'minan kaman kana fasiqa. So you should not join them, because this is a statement of Allah. Allah is asking question, after the question, wait before you now respond. If you joining it, you just are trying to say that what they are the same. Said what? La yastawun ay al-mu'min wal fasiq la yastawun. That is why Allah just said in Suratul, He said,
أَفَنَجْعَلُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ كَالْمُفْسِدِينَ فِي الْأَرْضِ أَفَنَجْعَلُ الْمُتَّقِينَ كَالْفُجَّارِ.
Allah said that, do you think we are going to make the believers to be like those that are causing mischief, causing corruption on the earth? That you make them to be the same? It's never possible that they will not be the same. They are two different parts. The truth and the falsehood can never be the same. So, you should understand this clearly. That is why Allah said, La yastawun. They are never the same. So let's quickly look at the lesson from this verse. The first lesson, the lesson we can learn from this is that there is no Muslim and Kafir, they are not the same. Even any level that bad Muslim, the Kafir might be, they are never the same. That is why Allah will say, أَفَنَجْعَلُ الْمُسْلِمِينَ كَالْمُجْرِمِينَ. Are you thinking that you are going to make the believer to be like the criminal? No. So there are two different entity. This is the first lesson you can learn from here, that what the believer, Mahamadat, disbeliever is, there is never the same as what? As the believer. Believer and disbeliever, they are never the same. So the second benefit you can learn from this verse, Al-Mu'min khayrun min al-Fasiq. You should know that a believer is better, prefer than a disbeliever, a disobedient one. Said, "Walau kana fasiqun a'zamu jahan fi dunya inda al-khaliq." Even if this disbeliever have more rank, is the president of the nation, is the governor, he can spend, he is a philanthropist. He said, you can never compare him with the least believer. See, it's never possible that you compare the two. Not like I always seem today, that those that I even what, that disbelievers that are doing spending in the course of their propagating what they believe in. Some of them even involved in something that are not even worthy of. You can't compare what a kafir with a believer. It's never comparable. So these are the two lessons you can learn from this. Allah now continue with what? أَمَّا الَّذِينَ
آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ فَلَهُمْ جَنَّاتُ الْمَأْوَى نُزُلًا بِمَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ.
Allah said what? أَمَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. You know, Allah asked a question and he responded to the question. Said the believer and the unbeliever, they are not the same. Said definitely they are not the same. In answer is explaining what will be the portion of the believers. Say أَمَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. As for those who believed, وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, and they did righteous deeds, فَلَهُمْ جَنَّاتُ الْمَأْوَى. There will be for them a shelter of accommodation, of mansion. بِمَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ, because of their deeds. Why they entered Jannah? Not only entering Jannah, this Jannah they will be enjoying there because of what they did, as we said it earlier on. He said the word amma is harfu shart, is a conditional statement. That if you are to do this, this will be your reward. Amma alladhina amanu wa amila salihah. So as for those who believed and also do righteous deeds, what is the response? If this is the condition is that what you believe and do righteous deeds. The response is what? فَلَهُمْ جَنَّاتُ الْمَأْوَى. So Jannatul Ma'wa will be their abode, will be their accommodation on the day of judgment. That is why Allah said in Suratul Layl, فَأَمَّا مَنْ أَعْطَى وَاتَّقَى وَصَدَّقَ بِالْحُسْنَى فَسَنُيَسِّرُهُ لِلْيُسْرَى. This is also what's a conditional statement. Said, as for those that used to give out and they have fear of Allah and they are truthful in their statement, what is their reward? فَسَنُيَسِّرُهُ لِلْيُسْرَى. We make it easy for them their affair. وَقَالُوا فَلَهُمْ جَنَّاتُ الْمَأْوَى. Al-Jannatu jam'u al-Jannah. So Allah said Jannat, plural of word paradise. Jannah, that is one. If it's much, you said Jannat. And I say Jannah is a garden that is full of a lot of plants, a lot of merry-merries, things that you enjoy yourself with. Say Ad-daru allati a'adaha Allahu ta'ala li awliyahi. Jannah is a home that Allah has prepared for those that are His allies. فَهِيَ أَعْلَى مِمَّا يَدُورُ فِي الْخِيَالِ أَوْ يَخْطُرُ عَلَى الْبَالِ. Said this is the peak of imagination. That imagine you enter into your garden where you see fruits, a lot of different type of fruit in that garden. He said, Jannatul Ma'wa, yani allati hiya ma'wahum la yaguna anha hiwala. Once they enter this shelter, once they enter this Jannah, nothing will be able to move them from that particular Jannah. They will be there for forever. Just like the kuffar too. Once they enter hellfire, nothing will be able to take them from hellfire. May Allah count our among those that will enter Jannah. Allah said, Nuzulan. What do you mean by Nuzul? Who am I? You add to the door if he is something prepared for a guest. He said, Nuzul, accommodation, mansion, something prepared for a guest we call Nuzul. And Allah in the verse said what? Bima kanu ya'malun. Because of their deeds. Because of their good deeds, that is why they will have all this reward of entering Jannah full of enjoyment and accommodation. Let's quickly look at the lessons we can learn from this verse. Al-Faidatul Ula, anna al-mu'mina la yusawi al-kafir la fil amal wa la fil jaza. He said you should know that the believer is never the same as the disbeliever in their deeds, likewise in their reward. You can't be comparing the deeds of a believer to that of kafir, likewise the reward on the day of judgment. وَأَمَّا الْعَمَلُ فَظَاهِرُ هَذَا مُؤْمِنٌ وَهَذَا فَاسِقٌ. He said what is apparent is that this is a believer and this is what is the disbeliever. وَأَمَّا جَزَاءُ, as for their reward, فَبَيَّنَ اللَّهُ فَرْقُمْ فِي بِقَوْلِهِ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. As for their reward, Allah says, if you are to do righteous deeds, your reward will be Jannah. So the second faida you can get from this verse is Batul Jannah. That Allah affirmed that there is Jannah. Even presently as we speak, Jannah is being prepared for those that are righteous. Because some people believe that till the day of judgment, Jannah will not be created. But even presently now, Jannah is being created, has been created. That is why Allah said in another verse in Suratul Al-Imran, it said what? Uiddat lil muttaqin. Said the Jannah has been prepared already.
إلى مغفرة من ربكم وجنة أرضها السماوات والأرض أعدت للمتقين.
Allah said what? Wasari'u. Hasten. Be in a hurry. Ila maghfirah. To seeking forgiveness from your Lord. So, oh Allah, forgive me my sins. Not only be seeking forgiveness. Why? And what? Ila jannatin arduha samawat wal ard. A Jannah. Also hasten to Jannah. And this Jannah, the wideness is like the heaven and the earth. And this is prepared for those that are God-fearing, those that are pious. It's important that Prophet said that what? A Jannah, the least mansion, the least Jannah that someone will have in Jannah, the least mansion that someone will have in Jannah is like the whole of the heaven and the earth, the least. Where some will have more than that. So, the next faida, anna al-iman, the next lesson we can also learn from here that what, as for belief, la yatimu illa bil amal. Your belief will not complete except with action. Don't say, I'm a believer, and you're not working, and you're not doing any action. You're not working towards that. And that action should be what? Righteous deeds. You believe, and what you do righteous deeds. Not like some people have said, what I believe is in the heart, but they are still perpetrating what evil. No, they do not believe. If you are claiming that belief is in the heart, even evil too is in the heart. Everything is in the heart, of course. So anything you have in your heart will reflect in your limbs. If your heart is good, sure, definitely it will show in your limbs. If your heart is also bad, it will also show in your limbs. So the next is what? Sibu manazil jannah wa makarraha. The next lesson you can learn from that, there is good and perfect mansion in the world in Jannah. Accommodation that are good. And the last lesson you can learn from, the next lesson you can learn from here, anna al-jannah yukrimuna bima yu'anniuna bihi kama yukrimu dayfu. That the people of Jannah will be honored just like the way you honor what guests, the way you honor your visitor. That is how you will be honored in Jannah. Allah, there will be enough of a lot of servants that will want to be there to assist you. There is no need for you to bother yourself in Jannah. Jannah is a place for enjoyment. You enjoy, and people will be in your service. Yatufuna alayhim walidanum mukhalladun. He said there will be children, young what? Children will be moving around. What are they doing as they are moving around?
بأكواب وأباريق وكأس من معين.
They will be moving around with what? Cup and jugs of different type of wine. Anyone you want, they will just present it to you. It's all about enjoyment. No need for you to after eating, you overfeed, you have to go and wash toilets. You have to go and urinate. Nothing like that in Jannah. Prophet said in a very long hadith, he said what? Once you enter Jannah, nothing like even spitting in Jannah. Nothing like what you want to go and remove milk in Jannah. Nothing like I want to go and defecate in Jannah. Nothing like I want to go and urinate in Jannah. Everything is all about enjoyment. May Allah grant us among those that will enter Jannah. Said, and the last faida, anna jazaa min jinsil amal, that deeds will be reward according to intention. Anything you do, that is what you will receive the reward. Not that you after all your deeds you end up entering fire. No, according to what your deeds, that is how you'll be rewarded. Inshallah. Let's move to the next verse.
وَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ فَسَقُوا فَمَأْوَاهُمُ النَّارُ كُلَّمَا أَرَادُوا أَن يَخْرُجُوا مِنْهَا أُعِيدُوا فِيهَا وَقِيلَ لَهُمْ ذُوقُوا عَذَابَ النَّارِ الَّذِي كُنتُمْ بِهِ تُكَذِّبُونَ.
After Allah finished discussing about the believers, that they believe they do righteousness, they will enter Jannah, he now moved toward the disbelievers. So, وَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ فَسَقُوا, and as for those that disbelieve, those that disobey Allah Azza wa Jal, فَمَأْوَاهُمُ النَّارُ, their abode is what? Hellfire. So, كُلَّمَا أَرَادُوا أَن يَخْرُجُوا مِنْهَا, whenever they want to leave Jannah, because they always struggle, this punishment is too much, they want to leave hellfire. Whenever they try that, or fear, they will be returned back to hellfire again. Once they are close to the gates, they are seeing what enjoyment going on in Jannah. For them to just go out, they will be driving inside. You should go inside and sit down and stop disturbing. وَقِيلَ لَهُمْ ذُوقُوا, and you said to them, you should test the punishment of hellfire. الَّذِي كُنْتُمْ بِهِ تُكَذِّبُونَ, which you disbelieve, which you would belie, that not like the day of judgment. I know you say it in the earlier part of this surah, that the kuffar disbelieve in the day of judgment. وَقَالُوا أَإِذَا ضَلَلْنَا فِي الْأَرْضِ أَإِنَّ لَفِي خَلْقٍ جَدِيدٍ, said after we've been buried and we are turned to dust, they will now resurrect us again for a day of judgment. The disbeliever, the word they detect that they will meet their Lord. So they belie it. So وَقَوْلُهُ وَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ فَسَقُوا يعني بِالْكُفْرِ وَالتَّكْذِيبِ, as for those that what disbelieve, فَسَقُوا here means kufr and takzib, those that disbelieve and they belie. So فَمَأْوَاهُمُ النَّارُ وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ, مَأْوَاهُمْ أَيْ مَرْجِعُهُمُ النَّارُ لَا يَخْرُجُونَ مِنْهَا, they are going to their place of return, their abode on the day of judgment is what? Is hellfire. Say la yakhrujuna minha, and they will not be able to live there. Say kullama aradu an yakhruju minha uidu fiha. Once we says, look at the word as Allah said, whenever they intend living hellfire, uidu fiha. Yani yatamannawna bil khuruj. They always be thinking of what, wishing that they should leave hellfire. Fayatafna bihim ila an yaqarribu min abwabiha. So they make attempts to go to the gates of hellfire because of the punishment they are facing. Summa ba'd an yatamanna al-khuruj wa yuriduhu wa yu'iduna fiha. So when they approach the door of hellfire, they will wish that, please, let's just go out. They will be returned back into hellfire. Wa hadha ashaddun. So this one is even the worst. Aliyaz billah. Now someone is finishing the eyes, hoping that it's almost done with the word punishment. At last I'm free from this particular punishment. And then take you back to it. Just for example, someone that is in prison for so many years. And now take you to the count that you are going home today. And the next thing they say, no, your prison still remaining 20 years or more than that, go back to the prison. Yeah, so you are starting all over again. Torture over torture. So this will be more worse. So that is what that is what will happen to the people of hellfire. They always attempt to leave hellfire. They will even pray to Allah that Allah should free them from hellfire. But all that will be in vain. Anytime they are wishing that, let's leave this hellfire, Allah will say to them, until we say to them, وَقِيلَ لَهُمْ زُوقُوا. It will be said to them, you should taste the painful punishment. الَّذِي كُنْتُمْ بِهِ تُكَذِّبُونَ, that you are belied. فَيَجْتَمِعُ عَلَيْهِمْ وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. He said these people, they are going to be receiving two different types of punishment, torture. One is what? Al-adhabu jisimiyya, is the bodily punishment, that the flesh will receive punishment. While adhabu qalbi, and they also receive the punishment of the heart, the mind, emotional punishment. That is what Allah said in Suratul. Kullama nadajat juduluhum badalnaha juludan ghayraha liyazuqul adhab. So whenever their body is being roasted, because they will not like the way we have any meat in this world. Once you roast it and you roast it, it will burn and everything will just finish. But in here, after they are being roasted and everything have turned to one, Allah said what? Kullama nadajat juluduhum badalnahum. Allah said we change, give them a new form of of flesh, so that they will be tasting that punishment. Aliyaz billah. As for the emotional torture, is when they will be said to them, you people should go back to the hellfire. Somebody is receiving punishment already. And I said, no, you are just beginning. You are emotionally torturing him. So what it means is that how Suratul insan indama yuqalu lahu hakadha. So the person, the Israel will be in sorrow whenever this be said to them. You people should go back to hellfire and continue your punishment. Allah yatahasar wa yaqulu laytani. Definitely it will be in sorrow, it will be in grief, it will be grieved, and will be saying, laytani ma kazabt. Hey, I wish I had not belied the message. وفيه والعياذ بالله من التوبة والتنديم والإدخال حصر ما هي ظاهر ولهذا قال كذلك. Said this is to reprimand them now, so that they will have rethink, so that they will not regret on the day of judgment. That is Allah said on the day of judgment, what will happen to them? كذلك يريهم أعمالهم حسرات عليهم. So that is how we are going to show them their deed on the day of judgment, and all of that will be waste upon them, which will be grief upon them. وَمَا هُمْ بِخَارِجِينَ مِنَ النَّارِ, and they will not be able to leave hellfire. So these people, they want to be requesting from Allah, even in hellfire, they'll be requesting from Allah that, oh Allah. That's why Allah said in Suratul Zukhruf, لَا يُفَتَّرُ عَنْهُمْ فِيهَا مُبْلِسُونَ. Said there will not be any respite for them. There will not be any chance for them to have any enjoyment. No any rest, no break. They will be there forever. And in Suratul Ghafir, Allah said, وَقَالَ الَّذِينَ فِي النَّارِ لِخَزَنَةِ جَهَنَّمَ.
وقال الذين في النار لخزنة جهنم ادعوا ربكم يخفف عنا يوما من العذاب.
After they tried a lot to leave the Jannah, to leave hellfire, they've approached the date several times, they've been to return back to hellfire. The next request is that what? Allah should just lessen their punishment. Just reduce it. They request Allah, just reduce it. Since you cannot leave it, we know that I am punishment, but reduce the punishment. So وَقَالَ الَّذِينَ فِي النَّارِ, those people in hellfire, they will be saying to what? To the keepers, to the gatekeeper of hellfire, to the angels in the hellfire, that is of hellfire. Udu rabbakum, oh you angels, call your Lord. Yukhafif anna. Tell Allah to reduce this punishment. We are facing a lot in this time. Call Allah so Allah will reduce this punishment. Even if it's just for a day. Let's go for a break on just a day. They are not wishing to leave it again. Now they are just leaving for a break. Just a day break, so it's okay, it's enough for us. So what they are, aliyazu billah, illa al-khizi wa takasur. So they've lost hope. They've been humiliated. That is why the only choice we have now is if Allah can reduce the punishment. Say, Uduru Rabbakum yarfa al-adhab, walakin qalu yukhaffif. Say they are not saying that Allah should take the punishment away from them, but rather they are saying that Allah should reduce it. And they also say Allah should just reduce it eternally. It's just a day to show that the kuffar, they are despaired, they are hopeless. They've used our approach, but nothing is working for them. That is why the angel will say to them, وَمَا دُعَاءُ الْكَافِرِينَ إِلَّا فِي ضَلَالٍ. The angel will say to them, as for the prayer of the disbeliever, it's just in vain. That you are in hellfire now and happening to Allah, it's in vain. Allah will not respond to your prayer. Aliyazu billah. After all this, their requests, Allah will shut them finally. Well, Allah said in Suratul Al-Mu'minun, said, Allah says, should be there, then stop talking. And at that time, they will not request. They will just face their punishment. Aliyazu billah. So let's quickly look at the benefits we can learn from this verse, the lesson we can learn from this verse. The first benefit is that we know that Allah said what وَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ فَسَقُوا. The word fisk means disobedience, but it have two meanings. It's either the major one or the minor. If it's the major one, that means the person is no more a believer. Or if it's minor, when he's still a believer, if he is to die, Allah will punish him for that particular sin. So the next benefit you can also learn from this is Ana al-kuffar ma'wahumun nar. So the disbeliever, as a Muslim, you have to believe this. All disbelievers, they are going to hellfire. Their abode is hellfire. Don't be saying that, if this person is very good, he's doing righteous deeds. So far he's not a Muslim. Even if he's the one of our philanthropists, those that spend a lot, is one that give away, they do give away very well. If he dies, he's going to hellfire. So the next lesson you can also learn from this is that Isbatun Nar is that also affirm that hellfire is prepared, is there already now. Just like we say it did in the case of Jannah. So everything being is ready, not as on judgment to be prepared. And the fourth lesson, Shiddat Azab al-Nar. the torture, the punishment of the people of hellfire will be so severe to the extent that they have to start wishing that they want to leave hellfire, as we mentioned earlier. And the next lesson we can also learn from this, أن أهل النار يجمع لهم بين العذاب الجسمية وعذاب القلبي. Said the people of hellfire will be facing two types of punishment: a punishment of the body, of the flesh, and an emotional punishment. So let's really take the next verse before we call it a day.
وَلَنُذِيقَنَّهُمْ مِنَ الْعَذَابِ الْأَدْنَى دُونَ الْعَذَابِ الْأَكْبَرِ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْجِعُونَ. Allah
said, well, this disbeliever that we're talking about, وَلَنُذِيقَنَّهُمْ, said, verily, we are going to make them to test مِنَ الْعَذَابِ الْأَدْنَى, the least punishment. دُونَ الْعَذَابِ الْأَكْبَرِ, other than the major, the big punishment. Scholars said the least punishment here is that what Allah will make them to face the punishment in this world. They will face some punishment in this world. And Azab al-Akbar is one hereafter. So Allah said, why are we doing them? Why are we punishing them in this world? So that perhaps they will return back to Allah. Perhaps they will believe. So Azab al-Dunya, from the point of this world that they might be implemented is what? That some of them will be fought and be killed. Some of them will be what? Will be taken as captive. Some of them will face a lot of challenges in their farm. Some it will be sickness. Allah is testing them so that perhaps they will return back to Allah. As for Azab al-Akbar, that is Azab al-Akhirah, is the punishment of the hereafter. Say la'allahum ay man bakiya minhum, so that perhaps those that are left behind among them after the punishment of this world, they will return back to Allah. They will return to Iman. Wa hadha wa'id min Allah. So this is a threat from Allah Azza wa Jal. Annahu yuziquhum al-'adhab adna qabla al-'adhab al-akbar. That Allah will definitely make them to test punishment in this world and before the punishment of the hereafter. So walakin harajau, will they return? Al-jawab minhum maraja. So some of them will return. Perhaps some of them will return. Some will return. Wa minhum lam yarja. Some will not return. They will continue. Just like the Quraysh. After the first battle of Badr, some of them accepted Islam. Some were killed. So thus this is the main goal of what? Of the punishment in this world. Allah is punishing, testing some people in this world that what they will have rethink in their ways. So let's quickly look at the benefits. The lesson you can learn from this verse is that bayanu hikmatillahi fima yabtali bihi min al-masaib. Said the explanation, the wisdom behind Allah testing us. Allah want to know if you still have faith. Even Allah tests the believer to not only the disbeliever. To know that claim, you claim that you are a believer. Do you really believe?
Alif Lam Mim. Ahasiban nasu an yutraku an yaqulu amanna wa hum la yuftanun.
Allah said what?
وَلَقَدْ فَتَنَّا الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ فَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ صَدَقُوا وَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ الْكَاذِبِينَ. Allah
said what? Ahasiban nas. Are the people think that just say, amanna, we have believed, and the next thing we leave you like that? Definitely, Allah have to test and make sure that you believe you claim. That claim, you are really true to the claim. Allah said, we've tested those before you, so that we'll be able to differentiate between the believers and those that lie. Those are just lip service. So Allah is making that test so that we see those that are believers and those that are not. So the next faida we can also learn from this, Ana adhab dunya la yunasibu ila adhab al-akhirah. He said you cannot correlate the punishment of this world. You cannot compare the punishment of this world to the punishment of the hereafter. The one in this world is just a lesser punishment compared to what will happen in the hereafter. That is the punishment that some people will be claiming that what, even if they are to enter that hellfire quench. So it's never like that. Even the fire in this world, you cannot even quench it. I'm talking of that of hereafter. So number 3, Qabulu Tawbatu min al-Kafir. He said, another lesson we can also learn from this, that Allah used to accept repentance from the disbeliever. So after Allah tests them with the punishment in this world, some of them will repent. So that's what Allah said, what la'allahum yarji'un, so that they will return to Iman. And the next benefit lesson we can also learn is about hikmatillah. We establish that Allah has wisdom behind anything He's doing. Anything that is happening in this world, there's wisdom behind it. And the next is about azabu fil akhirah. You also affirm that there is punishment in the hereafter. So let's take one more verse before we go to that word, at least next week if possible. Tomorrow we can also do more. Bismillah.
ومن أظلم ممن ذكر بآيات ربه ثم أعرض عنها إنا من المجرمين منتقمون.
Allah said what? وَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ, who is more unjust? مِمَّنْ ذُكِّرَ, more than someone that when he's being reminded بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ, the verse of Allah, he said that قال Allah, قال Rasul, ثُمَّ أَعْرَضَ عَنْهَا, then he now avoid it, he now reject it. There's nobody that is someone more unjust than this particular individual. He says, this is what Allah have said, and say, no, I can't work with that. Or like this, some people say that, that is too barbaric, it's not good for this particular century. You cannot work with this. We are in the 21st century. So if you have to avoid the verses of Allah, the command of Allah, say you are among the worst individual. Allah now says, Inna minal
mujrimina muntaqimun.
Said Allah said, verily we, as for regard the mujrim, the criminals, we are going to be revenging regarding them. We are going to be punishing them. Say, la ahadun azlam minhum. So what it means, there is nobody that is more unjust than someone that have this traits. Someone that has this behavior, that whenever the word is being reminded of the verse of his Lord, he will reject it. Nobody is worse than this. Said al-istifham huna lin-nafyu. He said the question here is for prohibition. Allah is asking who is more, to show you how bad that particular individual is. So قوله مما ذكر بآيات ربه ذكر ما قال مما ذكره الرسول. If you look at this verse, Allah did not say that word مما ذكر الرسول. Allah says ذكر majhul. He did not mention who is reminding them, but definitely they are being reminded. So that you know, before you can believe, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu have to come and talk to you. It can be anybody. So far is giving you the right thing. He's telling you the truth. You have to accept it. Say, so that it will encompass, it will be general for anybody that will be on admonition. Anybody that will give you a reminder. لأن بعض الناس قد يهدى لبعض المذاكرين. He said because some people, they will easily listen to some preachers. Not everybody that is speaking that you listen to. Some not as they are not saying they are saying the truth, but what the way they are presenting it will not make you to accept them. لكون فلانا, some because of the individual that is talking. وهذا ليس خاضعا للآيات. So that means the individual is not being submissive, is not being humble to the verses of Allah. بل هذا خاضع للأشخاص. So there are people like this, they are submissive to the individual that is speaking. فَتَجِدُوهُ إِذَا ذُكِّرَ بِهَذِهِ الْآيَةُ. So you see people like that. Once they are being reminded that, oh, this is what Allah has said, someone remind them like that. Qabla, so they will accept it. The same thing, someone else might also remind them with it, but they will not accept. Because maybe they have issue with the particular individual. Even some, you won't dare, but I'd say, oh, this is what Allah said, they will make jest of you. They will mock you. That is why Allah did not make it a specific word, He make it general. So after anybody that is admonishing you, whether you like the person or not, so far the person is saying the truth, as a believer, you have to say what? Semina wa atona. Don't say this one, because this one is a Yoruba brother, I will not believe in. Or this one is Hausa, this one is Igbo, that's why I'm not believing in. So far he's saying the truth as a Muslim, you have to do what? I heard what you say and I've obeyed. Simple as that. Allah said, Summa arada anha, then he now avoid, then he now reject. In another verse, he said, what? Fa'a arada anha. See, same word being instead of fa'a. This one says, Summa. Then he rejected. Fa'a arada anha, and he rejected. He said, what he means here is that some people, they will not even think. One just say, this is what Allah had to say. Just like the last time when we were going for dawah, street dawah, where Imam Muhammad Adamowi, I think I approached a particular woman in this community here. Just say, we are Muslim to brothers moving around, want to do dawah. He said, what? No, it's regarding Islam. I don't want to listen. Some will just did not want to listen to what you want to say at all. That's why Allah said, when say and if they refuse, they reject the word, the truth. Summa, when say summa, then they refuse. Then is that what they still have to think, this thing you are saying is making sense, so but I can't accept it. So that is what the difference between the two verses. Whether it's fa'arada or summa, they are still the same thing, but now depend on how they reject. Allah now in the verse says, Inna minal mujrimina muntakimun. We said it before, earlier on when we started this surah, where Allah said what? When Allah used the word inna, we. Who can see and remind us the word, the ruling? When you say we, is it that Allah is more than one? Ruler of what? Majesty. So that someone not come and deceive you. Allah said what? Inna, we. Adam is Allah is telling one. No. We call it what? Ruler of majesty. Allah said, verily we, minal mujrimina muntakimun. We are going to be avenging what? We are going to be meting punishment on the criminals. So we discussed that before, that what the we here is for majesty. That's why Allah said, Wallahu azizun zuntiqam. Allah possesses the power of avenge. He can easily what? Avenge. Because he has to do something, not do it, he now pay you back. So wal ijram bi ma'na al ism. So when say mujrim is from the word ijram, crime. Criminal here means someone that have committed sin. Wa huwa alladhi huwa al-asim alladhi irtakaba ma la yahillu lahu. It's a sinner that have what? commits sin that is not permissible for him. That is why Allah said, what inna ladina ajramu kanu min alladhina amanu yadhakun. The criminals, those that have commit crime, so they will be mocking the believers. So from here, you know, say that Allah is what? One of the name of Allah is Al-Muntakim. No, Allah is not Al-Muntakim. You want to say Muntakim, someone that revenge. But Allah said it's one of the description to describe Allah, but it's not one of his name. So you know, say Allah is what? Al-Muntakim. No, any name of Allah you think of, both the negative and the positive parts will not be there. It must be perfect. So let's really look at the lesson you can learn from here. The first lesson, anna man kana la hadha wasfu fa innahu la yakun ahadun azlam minhu. Then whoever have this attribute that anytime they admonish them, they reject it. Say people like this, nobody is worse than him in this world. They are the worst creature on earth. So now the second lesson you can also learn, inna azlama bi nasbatun lima ta'ata min nawihi. Oh, sorry. So anna al-insan yajibu an yaqbalu tazkir min ayyi man zakara. Is that you should also know that part of the lesson you can learn from there is that as a believer, you have to accept anybody that is admonishing you. Even if the person is younger than you, even if it's not from your tribe, you have to accept it. You should not reject what the truth. Number 3, faida, ana al-irad ba'da al-ilm akbar minhu hal-jahl. That you rejecting or avoiding the truth, some of the book of the verses of Allah is even worse than you being ignorant at all. That you don't know anything is better. That you know some and you don't know some. That one is even the worst. You accept some and you reject some. That one is the worst. That's why Allah said, "Afatumina bibad al-kitab wa takfuruna bibad." That you are believing in part of it and you disbelieve in part. It's better that you don't even know anyone. That we are to do. It's better than you know some, you now reject some. And the next benefit, as likewise we mention it in the believer, say every deed is judged according to what? Intention. Al-amalu min jinsil al-jazao min jinsil amal. Reward will be according to your deeds. Another lesson you can also learn from is anna al-irada an ayatillah ba'da tazkiri biha ijramun. Is that whoever rejects the verses of Allah after it's been mentioned to them, this is what Allah has said, and you reject it, that means you have committed a crime. You have disbelieved. So the next one is that jawazu idafatu intiqam min Allah. That is permissible that you said Allah can revenge. And that will be on condition. Because these people have committed crime, that's why Allah is revenging on them. So you know that Allah is what is a revenger. No, it's not one of his name. The next lesson you can also learn from this is Ba'atu Azamatillah. That we affirm that Allah is so great. Because Allah said, Inna said we are going to revenge. Because he used Jamu Tazimu. He used plural of what? Majesty. Said also, the lesson we can also learn from this that what the Quran is so eloquent. It's so eloquent in the way it's talk, the way Allah speaks in what the Quran. That's what Allah said. What Allah said, Inna minal mujrimina. He didn't say what? Inna minhu. He didn't say minhu, but say minal mujrimin. So all of those that are criminals, Allah will definitely revenge. So because Allah was talking about only one criminal, but at the end he was generalizing it out. For all criminals, their ruling is the same thing. So what we've learned so far today is that the believer have their own portion, they have their reward in Jannah, and the disbeliever their own reward in hellfire. And likewise, disbeliever will also face some punishment in this world before the hereafter. Inshallah, this is what we are going to stop for today. وأقول قولي هذا أستغفر لكم من كل ذنب إنه هو الغفور الرحيم وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. If there is any question, we could quickly respond to it before we disperse. Now.